You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
There you go, Donald Trump starting out last night's debate, feeling those tough questions from Fox News moderator Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, some call those pointed barbs a sexist attack, while others defend Trump's no-nonsense answer. Well,
joining us right now to break down some of the debate psychology, Dr. Lisa Palmer, here with us on the set, also Dr. Heath King.
Dr. Palmer, I want to start with you. What was your reaction to that exchange? Was Donald Trump kind of being overly aggressive, or was he right on the mark?
I think he was probably appropriate for the question because the question was a little out of line, I think. And I think that, you know, if Megyn Kelly's going to throw punches like that, especially at a GOP debate, she better be ready for what's coming at her. And he gave her some, so.
All right, well, let's also talk about Rand Paul. He may have been the most combative from the get-go last night. Here he is, though, with Chris Christie.
And Megyn, that's a completely ridiculous answer. I want to collect more records from terrorists, but less records from other people. How are you supposed to know, Megyn?
Use the Fourth Amendment.
How are you supposed
Use
to?
The Fourth
no, I'll
Amendment.
tell you how you.
Get a warrant.
Let me tell you something.
Get a judge to sign a warrant.
You know, Senator.
Wait.
Now, Dr. King, you know, you look at that. I want to ask you what stands out most about Rand Paul's response there. Was he really mad, or was he just faking it to get attention drawn to himself?
Well, I think Rand Paul, he's known for grandstanding in Congress and filibustering. However, I think in this particular case, he looked very disheveled. He looked irritated, and I would say probably he was doing this very much as a direct attack intentionally.
Intentionally. Also, he had another response, guys, back and forth with Donald Trump a little bit at the very beginning of the debate. Let's take a listen to that one.
Newsflash, the Republican Party's been fighting against a single-payer system for a decade. So I think you're on the wrong side of this if you're still arguing for a single-payer system.
I don't think you heard me. You're having a hard time tonight.
Well, what do you think, Dr. Palmer? Did he go into this debate with the explicit intention of taking on Donald Trump?
Probably. I mean, I think he went in trying to take on everybody. I mean, he was just lighting fires all over the place. But like Dr. King said, he looked a little disheveled, like he needed a shower or something. Maybe fashion police needed to help him a little bit.
So you think he was having a hard time?
I mean, his tie was crooked. He was all over the place. But I mean, that's sort of his identity, right? That's what he's there for, to kind of cause some fires and get people to answer some tough questions.
Right. Well, let's also talk about, because you said he looked a little disheveled, sort of, right? Let's talk about John Kasich. He came out. Now, some people notice this, and I think this is really interesting because when I talk to men, they didn't notice some of these things. But when you talk to women, they seem to have noticed them. We're talking about some tics that could have been perceived as, well, distracting. Let's take a look.
Well, Megyn, my father was a mailman. His father was a coal miner. My mother's mother could barely speak English, and their son today stands on this podium in the great state of Ohio, not only as the governor, but a candidate for president of the United States.
Now, we're singling out Kasich right there, and maybe you noticed it, maybe you didn't, John.
Did you notice it with Kasich, but I did not. I didn't see anything unusual with Kasich.
I did notice, like, at the end, he almost, not with this, but at the end of his closing statement, I think it was, or maybe it was when he was talking about God, he started getting kind of teary. I did notice that, but
emotions obviously running high. But Dr. King, I want to get your take, too, because, you know, these guys are all pros at what they do, but it seemed like all of them were pretty nervous last night, at least in the beginning of the debate. What do you think, Dr. King?
You know, George Orwell wrote a very perceptive essay called The Politics in the English Language. And he said that in this essay, he said that the real enemy of a clear language is insincerity. I think John Kasich came across as being sincere. I think also that Dr. Ben Carson came across as sincere, and I think Trump particularly came across as sincere. I think Trump has rung the bell that has awakened a nation in slumber, and this debate wouldn't be what it was without his input. In fact, already weeks ago, but with his input.
Yeah.
He awakened the nation.
Go ahead, Dr. Palmer, last word to you.
I think that Trump definitely lit the stage up last night. I mean, if you close your eyes and think about the GOP debate without Trump, you'd fall asleep. So he definitely, I think he had a lot of people.
I think everybody can agree on that.
A huge number last night for Fox News, too. It would have definitely been much smaller without Donald Trump as well.
That
Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Heath King, thanks so much for being with us, talking a little psychology of these debates. Well, who do you think won the GOP debate? Was it Donald Trump or was it somebody else? The polls are still open right now. You can let your voice be heard by going to newsmaxpolls.com and casting your vote. Stay tuned. We'll have the final results coming up.